What is going on, guys? It's Cameron and welcome back to Ultimate Spider-Man issue 63. And as you guys know, I am so caught up with university work that I've actually fallen behind on some of the other series that I'm reviewing. But I don't know why Ultimate Spider-Man just seems like one of those videos that you can upload fast and you can create it fast. Well, actually it takes the same amount of time to make, but maybe just, I don't know, time flies fast in making Ultimate Spider-Man videos, I don't know why. But yes, so in the previous issue we saw towards the end that Carnage killed Gwen Stacy, and we're going to see the after effects of that, and of course how it impacts Peter Parker, and obviously him thinking that it's his fault, etc. because of Spider-Man and all that. Now guys, before we get into this review, I seriously recommend that you follow me on Twitter, because for the past few days I've been giving away free digital comic codes, and I think I've given away like 10 so far. That's within the past few days, by the way. So if you want a chance to get one of those, then just follow me on Twitter and I randomly tweet them out throughout like the day and stuff like that. And obviously I tweet about my videos and what reviews coming up next and whether an Ultimate Spider-Man video is coming up, etc. So yeah, anyway, without further ado guys, let's get into this review. Okay, so the issue opens up and a little bit of a downer in possibly the worst way ever in terms of emotion, because they just throw it right at you. Aunt May actually discovers the body of Gwen Stacy crippled up, zombified in the back garden, or the backyard for you American people out there. And I think that is the most devastating thing for Aunt May's character, because she's been through so much, and just when she says not again, because if you remember a few issues ago, or should I say a lot of issues ago, Aunt May was actually going to therapy because she started to believe that every single person she came into contact with, or everyone that she loved, died. So the fact that Gwen Stacy is now being killed as well is going to affect Aunt May the most. Because let's look back. Uncle Ben died, Captain Stacy died, now Gwen. Like literally Aunt May is going to go into some mental breakdown or something. But don't get me wrong, it still affects Peter as well. Now I'm going to be honest, when Peter first found out about the news of Gwen Stacy's death, I kind of expected him to react a little bit more emotional, or at least like crazier. Like when he's swinging home, it seems like he's trying to get there as fast as he can. But if you really look at Peter, it seems like his character has developed so much that eventually he's just become used to this sort of thing. You know, like he's not surprised. And you can tell just by looking at him that he already feels like he's the one to blame for this, even though that he has no idea who did it. Like remember guys, he doesn't know that Carnage exists, he doesn't know who did it. As far as he's concerned, it could have been anybody. I think what's worse is that it's very reminiscent of when Uncle Ben died. Like they had all these police officers everywhere, and this is the second time that someone's died at Peter Parker's house. I really love the characters in the background and how they're bringing you up to speed on what's happened in Gwen Stacy's past, you know, with the death of her father, and just like making you realise what the Stacy family have been through in terms of absolute devastation. Like first of all, Captain George Stacy split from his wife, which was Gwen's mother, then Gwen got kicked out of the house, then Captain George Stacy got killed, and we had to see Gwen deal with that in her own way, and now Gwen Stacy's died as well, and it makes you sit back and just be like, damn. And I love how that whole concept of reminiscing about her makes you feel more emotional for her death in this comic as well. It's brilliant. We also got that interviewer talking to Peter Parker, and I feel like he was very, very harsh on Peter, and I think Aunt May was actually in the right in telling him off for this, because you've got to remember that Peter Parker is 15 years old, so for a police officer to come up to you and automatically assume that you're the suspect in this murder case when you're a 15-year-old kid who's just seen his friend who he lives with be murdered, it's kind of like, bro, give him a bit of a break. Like, is this guy crazy? Now, one of the moments that stood out to me in this comic was when Peter ripped his backpack open completely to reveal his Spider-Man costume. Like, it was more like inside frustration. Like, he kind of blames himself because he's Spider-Man, but also to the fact that he couldn't do anything about it. Like, he's not exactly mad at himself, he's more mad at the situation. And I thought it was so awesome how they did that with him ripping the backpack open to reveal his superhero costume, and I don't know, it was just so awesome to see. Now, something that I haven't mentioned yet was we did actually see in the previous issue that Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane actually had an interaction with each other, and it was actually really cool. It was the first time that they had actually spoken to each other without anybody else being there, and it really seemed like they were going to be good friends. They were really getting on with each other, understanding each other, forming a friendship, and just as that was happening, Gwen Stacy gets taken away from them. So of course we can expect Gwen Stacy's death to impact Mary Jane just as much as it impacts everybody else. Obviously, well actually maybe not as much, but it'll still impact her greatly. Actually guys, I haven't asked you yet, what did you think of the death of Gwen Stacy in the Ultimate Universe? Because obviously it's a drastic change from the 616 universe with Goblin throwing Gwen Stacy off a bridge, because not only is it a different villain that kills Gwen Stacy, but she also dies from having the life force sucked out of her instead of her breaking her neck or being thrown off a bridge or whatever. So let me know what you thought of Gwen Stacy's death in the Ultimate Universe, because I'd really love to know what you thought. Now, moving onwards throughout the comic, you can see Peter Parker putting 2 and 2 together, realizing where this thing has probably come from, and of course Dr. Kurt Connors being at that university. And that is what I love about these characters that are in the Ultimate Universe. I mentioned it ages ago in these comic reviews, talking about how the characters in the Ultimate Universe are so on point and written so well. Like, seriously, Peter is smart enough to put 2 and 2 together, and I especially loved how Venom was thrown into the mix, because what you've got to remember, Venom was actually created at Empire State University, and of course someone was killed there earlier in the day, so it only makes sense that whatever was doing this came from there. Now, when I was reading this issue, I totally did not expect Peter Parker to actually think that Dr. Kurt Connors was the one that killed Gwen Stacy. Like, he actually thought Dr. Kurt Connors turned himself into another monster once again, and that was actually really surprising to me, so I've got to give the comics props for that. And we also discovered that Dr. Kurt Connors not only used Peter Parker's DNA, but he also mixed it with his own and then some of Peter's father's research. So basically, he inadvertently created another organism symbiote, which is absolutely mental. And as you can see on screen right now, this is how the comic ends. This is the final page of Ultimate Spider-Man issue 63, with Carnage confronting Peter Parker and Dr. Kurt Connors, and he looks so scary. The artwork from Mark Bagley is just absolutely on point throughout this entire Ultimate Spider-Man series, as I always say in almost every single review. But seriously, Carnage looks like something out of a horror movie, as I said in the previous issue, and it looks phenomenal. Guys, that is the end of the issue. What did you think? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to be giving this issue an 8 out of 10. We're already beginning to see the aftermath of Gwen Stacy's death affecting Peter Parker and Aunt May, but more so over to Dr. Kurt Connors as well, because what is going to happen to him? He's pretty much going to probably have to go to jail. Now, obviously, I know what happens to him, but I'm not going to spoil anything for you. So in the meantime, guys, follow me on Twitter for giveaways and hearing about when my videos are being uploaded and what's going up next. Follow me on my Facebook page for all the latest in comic book news and updates. And guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, and I will see you all next time.